Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Welcome to the Imagine More Success radio show. It's the hot new all about you show with successful entrepreneurs and business experts sharing their stories and powerful takeaways while providing you with the tips, tools, tactics, and a free weekly gift to help you thrive. Your hosts for the Imagine More Success radio show are the best-selling authors Cindy Hendricks, a certified business consultant, and Thomas Hides, a certified world-class public speaking coach. Check out the Imagine More Success radio show at imagicmoresuccess.net. because now is the time to realize your dreams and to imagine more success. Welcome to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. We've got a really fun and interesting show for you today. We're going to be talking about startups, and not just any old startup. We're going to be talking about startups as they connect the globe from east to west and span the entire globe. It's going to be a really fun and interesting show. This is actually a section of business that I'm not very well versed in, so I might be stumbling a little bit today. Cindy, are you ready to stumble your way through today with me a little bit on this?
Honey, I've been stumbling a long time, so I tap dance pretty well. Anyway, cool. I'm really excited too because startups are really fascinating. You know, if you think about all the startups over the world and what's become of many of them that have been really successful. And so we're going to be talking to an expert on startups and some interesting ways that he's devised with his business partner to really bring it to a global level. And isn't this a fabulous time, Thomas, to be in business when we have no barriers, well, not many barriers to speak of, to work internationally?
Very true. You know, I think one of the important reasons to listen in today is that startups provide so many opportunities for investment, so many opportunities for jumping on new technologies, and so much opportunity to partnering up with the average person so that you can be on the ground floor of, say, a new technology, a new concept, a new way of doing business, as well as taking a type of technology or a type of business from one market to another market. And that's something I've actually seen in nightclub business. Cindy, I met a gentleman here in Las Vegas who takes the concepts of some of the biggest nightclubs in Las Vegas and opens them in Mexico City.
Well, what I think is the most fascinating is that when you don't work with someone from your neighborhood, your state, your country, when you look internationally for different business opportunities and people to work with, it just brings a whole different thought process, whole different idea pool. And I really think that's the future for our world, to solve some of our issues that, we bring together different minds to create something different, new, special, that might create something awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind the idea of diversity promoting creativity as well as problem solving, which in business quite often ultimately leads to profit making.
Exactly. And that is the name of the game in business.
So today we have a guest with us. His name is Farid Ismayilzada. He's from Azerbaijan. He is the founder or co-founder and president of Technovate Investments, which was founded in 2019 as a hybrid startup generator and venture studio to connect global startup ideas to the world. The developing world provides an untapped resource of technologies. First is the startup generation process via a competition to find some of the best and brightest global ideas. Then the ideas are vetted and supported in a boutique incubator where inventors are funded and supported to develop the idea and a product. And then the next step is moving to the US for further product development, validation, and funding. And technologies are varied across many different industries. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and bring Farid onto the show. Farid, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Pleasure to have you here with us today. We actually had the pleasure of hearing about you first by reputation from one of our previous guests, Ingrid Roston. You can actually check out her interview on imaginemoresuccess.net. But she had wonderful things to say about you. So, Farid, take a few moments and walk us through your reasons for founding the company Technovate Investments.
Well, it actually started in a bit like in a startupish way as well, like without really super clear plan. So the idea is that I'm an American graduate, so I studied in San Jose State University back in 2003, 2005, and went back to Azerbaijan, established a venture there called Golden Pay, which is something like equivalent to PayPal in the United States, and then which is online payments company. And currently it's the largest payment company in my country. The country is around 10 million population. It's located right between Europe and Asia. It's considered the European country. So right in that border, so near the Caspian Sea. So basically the idea is after Golden Pay, I mean, in order to create some turnover to Golden Pay, because online payments companies make money from the turnover that they process. They get some commissions. That's everywhere in the world. Like PayPal works that way. We work that way. Pretty much every payment company you know of works that way. You needed to create some turnover. So for that, we added another platform in my country, which is something like does bill payments, platform where people come and buy their insurance, platform come and buy their movie theater tickets and travel products and everything. So everything in one platform. Unlike in America, you have Expedia.com, eBay, Amazon, all that other things. We all have it in one, so to say. So it's all connected to Golden Pay. Yeah, it's actually kind of cooler, but I think it works well for smaller countries. Not sure if it will work well in the big countries. But I mean, for the population, you have only one username and one password that you remember, and only one platform where you go and you get all your services in one location. So anyways, when all that venture was built and it was like it was starting to make money, and I mean, I'm the type of person that I'm really not good at managing. I'm more of like a startup guy, like who likes to set up things, like typical entrepreneur you would know. And I didn't want to be in that founder's trap of like, not letting it go or not leaving my position as a CEO and so on. So I left it. Like at 2018 in April, I left my CEO position. I became just a board member and the owner. I mean, and I had my deputy CEO who worked with me from day one. She took over and she ran. So at this point, I was like, what can I do? What should I do? Kind of thing. And then I decided that, my country has some startups that has some global potential. So why don't I actually find a way to kind of recruit those bright minds, find those bright minds, and help them to incubate, like come up with their idea and then turn that idea into some kind of a proof of concept. And I knew that my country's startup ecosystem is not strong enough to have projects go global. I mean, they are good for, locally, or they're good for the incubation part of it, but it will be challenging to take it to global. So, I mean, they need to be in United States. They need to be in much developed country, like with this ecosystem. So the idea emerged just like that. So
what's kind of the best ecosystem then for that? Describe it.
well, the best ecosystem like will be something what you guys have here in United States is that, I mean, like you need to have money, first of all, like available to the ideas. And the money, you know, that it changes from, it usually starts from friends and family. So you might have some idea, I don't know, I can make X turn into Y, and that has such a great potential. The world needs such a thing. Okay, great idea. Thank you. We all like it. But now show it. I mean, proof of concept. So at this point, you will have your friends and family kicking in and helping you out a little bit. Like they will give you, I don't know, 10K, 5. Well, what is happening in Silicon Valley, in Austin, in Boston, in Chicago, in New York. So it's not there yet. So that's what funding will be the first thing. Second is, of course, you need to have some big companies you want to work with. For example, one of the startups I have invested is in energy, and it will be taken to Tesla eventually one day. But How can you talk to Tesla sitting in Azerbaijan? Like almost impossible, right? I mean, like there's no connection there. So you need to be in the environment, a place there where when you're ready to talk to these big guys, or I don't know, there's a startup that needs to talk to Apple eventually, or Google eventually, or I don't know, some other kind of companies. I mean, you need to be in that ecosystem that kind of things are supported. So yeah, I mean, just briefly, like those are the things that are missing in most of the part of the world. And I'll be honest with you, Americans have figured out. I mean, US have figured out because you started way before when whole world even thought about it, and you figured out. I mean, just simple. I'll tell you one thing. In my country, there's 4 versions of forming a company. You have like limited liability, I don't know, open stock joint company, like things like that. There's 4 of them. Mm-hmm. In your country, I mean, I think it's like more than 50, 60. I mean, like you guys have figured out everything, literally. Like
types of companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I like best about the company that you started with, the PayPal-like company,
Yes.
is that you only have one password and one login.
To be able to do everything.
I
That's
love
pretty
that.
funny.
If you could figure that out for the U.S., boy, you'd really be in.
Well, we're going to come back in just a moment after a quick word from our sponsors. We're going to be talking more with Farid Ismayilzada, who's from Technovate Investments. And if you'd like to check out some past episodes of the Imagine More Success radio show, go to imaginemoresuccess.net. And if you'd like to learn how you can create some more money in your business and your life, go to findhiddenmoney.com. Stay tuned.
Patty Conklin grew up in Brooktondale, New York with a unique ability. Unlike others, she could see how the vibration of words and emotions affected the physical body. She discovered how to release stored emotion and facilitate healing. This began today's Conklin method of cellular cleansing. The private practice grew with tremendous results, as did her reputation. More and more people sought her out, bringing her into the home for healing. She soon realized she could even teach this to others, and they could shift perception and thus prevent illness from occurring. Patty Conklin quickly became a frequent keynote speaker, and she developed a curriculum for teaching the Conklin method of cellular cleansing. For more information, visit pattyconklin.com, PATTICONKLIN, pattyconklin.com, or call 404-474-0086. That's 404-474-0086.
Mission Evolution is dedicated to the well-being of the planet and animals, as well as the evolution of humankind. One major factor threatening all 3 is increasing toxicity. Heavy metals and other environmental toxins are poisoning our bodies, deteriorating our brains, blocking our spiritual connection, and shortening our lives. Yet these poisons are extremely difficult to remove. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, and I recently became aware of a product created from the marriage of nature and nanotechnology called Vitality. It's formulated from zoolite, whose crystalline structure binds toxins, gently carrying them out of the body. The light is only as clear as the window through which it shines. Clear your body, shine your light into the world. Visit vitalityhappens.com for a 20% discount. Enter code PATHHOME.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
You are back on the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. In our previous segment, we've been speaking with Farid Ismayilzada, who is from Technovate Investments. And we were discussing some of the reasons and possibilities as to why the United States is such a great place for startups and why some places in the world are not. What we learned earlier is that there is an infrastructure of investment and finances that have a tendency to affect startup growth very rapidly, as well as there are multiple types of businesses that can be formed specifically for each business type. Farid, in your business, do you also take businesses that are, or business concepts from, or that are proven viable in a more developed country and then take them to smaller countries as well? Or is most of your business literally taking undeveloped ideas from undeveloped countries and bringing them to the U.S.?
Well, the business is taking them to U.S. because the idea is that, you can't simply do everything, to be honest. And I do agree with you that there might be some ideas that, that comes, let's say, from 10 million population Azerbaijan, and you can take it to 80 million population to Turkey, which is 8 times bigger than the country. And of course, that local market over there is quite big, can be big. Like just simply payment system that we have in Golden Pay, probably if it's built like in Turkey, it could be like 10 times bigger than what it is in Azerbaijan. But the thing is that, to be honest, I'm not interested in it. So at Technovate, we are very specific that it should be something that will I like to call it, will put the world on fire. So it has to change everything, and it should be very disruptive. So that's what I'm interested in. And for that, you need to be in US. So
cool. I know that you mentioned in some of the conversations we've had that literally talent is everywhere. And I think that's the beauty of the world now, that the talent that is strewn across the world actually has an opportunity to step forward with a company like yours and have a chance to develop an idea that no longer just has to be an idea just because of the place someone's born or the area that they grow up or the place that they currently live.
That's super correct. As you know, internet has really, really globalized the world, like seriously. Right now, for example, I think education is quite disruptive. You don't have to be Stanford, Harvard graduate anymore, to be, super smart or come up with a super smart idea or whatever. There's knowledge is everywhere. It's in your fingertip. As long as you have a will and learn, you can do that and come up with your own ideas, come up with your own solutions. And then, yes, the things are globalizing in terms of funding is becoming more global. For example, when I'm here in US and pitching in front of investors to raise more money for the projects we have invested or whatever, nobody really, asks literally where you of course they know, but where you're coming from, that's not a problem anymore. Where you're coming from, what's your religion like, what's your color like, or whatever. This doesn't matter anymore. It matters that do you really have something that is really, really good, and are you the one who can make this thing really, really work out? So that's the only concerns people usually have, which is great. That's how the new world is like. So which is really cool,
Yeah, that is really cool. What's a part of your process that you use firstly to find ideas?
Well, first of all, like our ideas like that at the moment comes from Azerbaijan. That's where I'm from. But the idea is, of course, to establish the Technovate know-how in neighboring countries, which we have Georgia, we have Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, possibly Turkey, and so on. So at the moment, we're only based in Baku, that part, like where we where we find those startups. But the idea is, of course, to increase it to other countries. So the know-how is simple. Of course, first of all, is the word of mouth. We do have a strict requirement. The idea must be a global idea. I have to explain that a little bit because, the idea can be local, which is, let's say, payment system for your country. It can be international. For example, Uber is international. So every country that you want to establish Uber, you have to have an establishment there. You have to have an office there, like which will check the taxi drivers. Certain requirements of that country and so on and so on. Possibly you have to even register a company in that countries. But then there's a global idea, like let's say Facebook, Google. They're located in one place in the world. Yes, they do have offices all over the world, but they're like for development and so on. Like so not really operations mainly, right? That's a global idea. Google, it doesn't matter. You're Azerbaijani, you're American, you're Zimbabwean, or you're Brazilian, or you're Australian. You use it, right? You just go and type and search or whatever. So for us, it has to be a global idea. The idea should be something that is serving for the world population, and it's easy to grow it from one point quickly. So that's our strict requirement, which filters out a lot of ideas. So anything pretty much local or international, you don't even look into it. Then when you have the global idea, then first is word of mouth. Second is we do startup competitions, and we do startup competitions, and ideas come from there, and then What is the difference though in startup competitions we like to do is we don't give them a prizes. Like usually startup competitions you will probably read or hear about is that, first place gets $10,000, second place gets $5,000. Not like that. We do competition and we recruit to our incubation center and we incubate that. So there's no prize. The prize is you being part of us and eventually build your proof of concept and move to United States to turn it into a global business.
Wow. Well, that's probably an even more impressive prize than just giving someone money, because you're giving them know-how as well.
And we're so much more.
Yeah.
I agree. I think so too. So that's why we built it that way.
Tell us a little bit more about your incubation process that you have. Once an idea has passed the global requirement and then they've won a competition or by word of mouth, they found their way to you. How do you begin to work with your clients?
So what we do is that actually I wouldn't like to call it clients, we become partners. So we immediately sign some kind of a contract between us that when the proof of concept is ready, we're going to establish a United States company. We don't want to invest in it at this point because the proof of concept might not ever accomplish. So we say that in the future, when you're done with it, we will establish a U.S. firm. At that U.S. firm, we'll have X, Y, Z shareholding structure. Like we start taking like 20% equity right away. So we have to agree with that. So if the founder agrees, or founders agree, that's fine. So we sign some kind of piece of paper. To be honest, though, that's not that super legal piece of paper because there is no really a company. There's no really but it's just like more of a gentleman agreement that's in the piece of paper. As soon as we do that, then we start the process. The thing is that what I like about not giving prizes is also that if you're going to take this startup to United States and then actually invest so much that you'll bring it here and you'll talk about this to big people or important people and so on, you need to make sure that you're very good partners with that founder. So that 6 months to 1 year process of incubation in Azerbaijan gives an access to knowing each other. For example, I had just a startup that dropped off the incubation center because from the first hardship, the startup founder started to make, a buzz about it. And I immediately said that, this is the I mean, like, and he was making buzz about the fact that things did not go all on time. And I said, look, the number one rule in startups is that nothing is going on time. Like, this is the first
Right.
thing ever. Like, if you do everything on time and like a corporate world or whatever, like, then you're not startup. That's not possible. So if you're making buzz about it, then we are done here, because I cannot imagine what other things that you might be making problem of like in the future. So we really dropped that project, although the project was amazing. It doesn't matter. So it's out. I mean, like, no more being incubated in our incubation center. So the next thing what we do is, of course, you need to have, I think, 3 months to 3 months of process of brainstorming what you really want to turn this idea into, like what the proof of concept will look like a year later, 6 months later, right? If it's an app, you think of app. It's a hardware, you think of hardware. If it's a software, you think of software. So it's basically, what is it? So you need to be very, very clear of what you want. And then you create conditions for that founder to do that. Like, let's say if that founder cannot develop the app himself, we'll find a company which will develop the app, and that founder will just watch this all, like make sure that things come out right. Of course, every month or 2, 3, you're constantly chatting with that person. We do have people back at home who runs this incubation center. So this process basically lasts around 6 months to 1 year, pretty much. And then when you have the proof of concept, and you look into it and you say, oh, yeah, that's great. I mean, I can bring it to the United States, talk about this to other investors, possible people, and like turn it into business. That's when you register your American company according to the agreement you had in the beginning. And then, yeah, you just bring the founder itself with the idea to the United States. You start looking for funding, you raise more money. We ourselves invest a lot more as well. And then, yeah, it's ready to do operational, and then we take it to the next level. That's how the overall process looks like.
Well, that's fascinating. Farid, that's a real behind-the-scenes look at a total process that I've seen here in the U.S., but I haven't really seen it in developing countries or in other countries, different markets. I mean, it seems like a tremendous service that you're offering, because you have a level of expertise that you're giving your clients, as well as access to all the things that they can't typically get, or they don't typically find in their home country. So this is very exciting. When we come back in the next segment, I definitely want to talk more about what is necessary in order to start to begin finance and to find financiers for your company, as well as angel investors and smaller investors. So just hang out with us for a couple more minutes. We've got a couple of words from our sponsors. We'll be right back on the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas in just a few minutes.
Awesome.
Audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, Xzone Radio TV. For more information on the Xzone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Join Patty Conklin and Healing Within Radio each week. More than entertainment, Healing Within offers educational, useful tools for everyday life. Listen for help overcoming fear, anxiety, and depression. Patty knows about eliminating cancer, MS, dementia, Parkinson's, and a host of illnesses that we face every day. Life can be good. Life is good. All you need are simple tools to start changing your life. Start right now by visiting pattyconklin.com, PATTICONKLIN. No matter where you are in the world, you can work with Patty through Skype, phone, or in person, visiting one of her retreats in Georgia. Visit pattyconklin.com today or call our offices at 404-474-0086. That's pattyconklin.com or call 404-474-0086.
Coming soon to the X-Zone Broadcast Network is A Different Perspective with me, Kevin Randall, as your host. We'll be taking a close look at what is happening in the world of UFOs today with side trips into the paranormal. Guests will range from those who are household names to those who have a different perspective on a variety of topics. No topic will be taboo, but there will be tough questions asked as we all search for the truth about UFOs, the paranormal, and those things that excite us. Sometimes we'll agree with a guest and sometimes we won't, but we'll try to keep the program topical. For those of you who would like to read, be sure to visit www.kevinrandall.blogspot.com and remember to listen to the other fine programs on the X-Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. In our previous segment, we were speaking with Farid Ismayilzada from Azerbaijan, who is the co-founder and president of Technovate Investments. And in our previous segment, we were talking about his process for finding these global ideas, which included word of mouth, as well as contests, which invite participants who are winners to become a part of his incubation process within the company. And we also learned what the incubation process looks like, lasts about a year or so, 6 months to a year. And then finally, once there's a proof of concept, bringing these ideas to the U.S. The other thing that was very fascinating to me, by the way, was the idea of you searching specifically for global ideas rather than international or regional ideas, which I really can appreciate. Farid, does that typically mean that the idea is solely internet-based?
No, it does not. In fact, like we have an idea which is an energy sector. It's like a generator, which has a potential to charge, which has potential to change the way, disrupt the way, I would say even correctly, the way we charge our phones, our tablets, our cars. I mean, if you have Tesla or like any other EV, or like you charge, even potential in the future might be the way we electrify our households and stuff. Or there's an idea that is like, I have 2 kids, so there's an idea about how to turn any toy into a smart toy. So, because I mean, like I've been buying a lot of toys, and all of them like literally like doesn't teach anything to my kids. So I was thinking about how to make that toys be smarter. So it does not have to be software, but it has to disrupt the I mean the global thing. I mean, we have an investment in a posture project that is a wearable that you wear it under your clothes. It has 3 sensors, identifies when you're incorrect posture. I don't know if you're right now, you're probably correcting your posture when you're hearing this. So it basically vibrates and reminds you that you should correct your posture. So this way it creates you a habit of having good posture. So as you can see, those are like hardware ideas that I just mentioned to you. Nothing really to do with software, but you would probably agree that those are solving global problem. Yeah, I mean, posture is 90% of human population are sitting incorrectly. I don't know, electric thing, I should not even talk about. You probably agree that it's a global thing. Or the other toys thing, every parent will tell you that, oh yeah, we have a problem. So
I think that you would have an incredible amount of clients here in the U.S., just even in California, for the electric idea because of the PG&E and the fires and the loss of electricity over the last year or 2.
Yes, I am aware of all that, and I agree with you. But again, as I've told you, of course, I mean, your idea will all it is global and solves global problem, it will start from somewhere. I mean, like, I'm sure when the Apple phones that are bought by pretty much every country in the world, I'm sure there's at least one Apple, if not more. I mean, you would agree that it's much, much more. But they were first started to be sold in California or in USA, right? I mean, like, it was the first ones who bought this was American. So something like that as well. But I mean, for example, I don't see Azerbaijanians using Expedia.com, for example. I mean, that's not. I mean, you know what I mean, right? I mean, it is more of an American thing. I mean, if we go randomly and ask about Apple in Azerbaijan, everybody will know. Anybody, even from the village to, I don't know, president of the country, everybody knows about Apple. But I don't think people will know about Expedia. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But every American knows about Expedia. You probably agree. So something like that. So you need to look into what I mean by global is something that is global, but it can start, of course, from California. Yeah, we can create those generators to solve that fire problems, but that's not the potential of it. The idea is to pretty much give it energy to anywhere in Africa, in Australia, and in Europe or wherever, right? So that's
Right. So what would you say that the people in the U.S. could do to become involved with your company, of course, besides coming up with investment money?
Well, I mean, we see, I mean, U.S., I mean, first of all, like, the first steps we take is like, usually those projects require much more funding that is currently available to me personally and to the company, because, I mean, we just don't simply have so much funds yet. So the first thing is, of course, like, getting that funding sorted out. But the next thing is that we will hire Americans. I mean, we'll hire a lot of them, to be honest, in our startups. Usually what we do is we match them with a co-founder. So at the moment, the way it looks like, for example, we have at the moment 2 graduates from Incubation Center, and we have 3 more projects back still at home trying to get graduated, so to say. With these 2 projects, myself and my partner Ingrid Rosten, we will be CEOs of those projects at the moment because we have the most exposure to, so to say, American business culture, American business environment. But we cannot be CEOs in every startup that's coming from developing countries, and we're trying to reach like 10 startups per year level. So what we will need to, we'll have to find a pool of potential co-founders, CEOs who would like to match with those guys that are coming from Azerbaijan, because usually, first of all, you're having people coming from Azerbaijan or developing countries. They're more of a technical people, so they're fit for CTO, but they won't be fit for CEOs, like, or do sales or speak perfect English, or like be not shy to be in front of investors, or like things like that, right? So you will need to match them with most likely with American educated and who has done something in the environment here. So the next answer to your question, the next thing we'll be matching these guys that are coming from these developing countries with another co-founders here. So we'll be looking for creating a pool of potential co-founders, which you can easily attach it to a great startup idea that comes from home and take it to the next level. And also a lot of regular hires. I mean, we need people from just simple as personal assistant to, like, I don't know, engineers or the accounting firm, legal, like all those things that we'll be hiring. And we'll be paying a lot of taxes. We'll be paying a lot of fees for services. I mean, we have a legal company that is doing all our legal work. We have an accounting firm which is doing all our accounting work, and we've been paying quite significantly to them as well. So I think it's amazing boost for U.S. economy as well. And yeah, basically kind of finding the brightest minds in those developing countries, brightest ideas in developing countries, and moving them to states and turning them into something big. And if you look around, pretty much, right, every big company, at the moment are kind of started by immigrants, right? I mean, like, look at Google, look at Tesla, look at who were there. Right? They were all came somehow from somewhere, right? I mean, Apple, like everybody. So everybody pretty much, those are usually kind of were bright minds that were abroad. So now we're trying to do it in a professional way, like not like a, in a way that it just success story 1, 2 like suddenly happened. I'm believing that it can be done in an organized way, and that's what we're trying to do now.
Well, it sounds like it's a win-win-win for everyone, not just the companies and the people you're hiring, but for also for the consumer.
Yes, consumer gets benefits from here. I don't know. I mean, U.S. economy gets. I mean, the home country economy, because when you are becoming rich here and you have relatives back home, or like you have things back home, I mean, you can always send money back home or invest in things there. You'll buy a house, you'll buy cars or things like that. So I think like everybody gets benefits from it. Like US gets benefit of it, like Azerbaijan or any other developing country will plan to be launched in late coming years will get benefit of it. The founders will love it because they were pretty much kind of nobody with idea and kind of in a way hopeless back at home, suddenly in the middle of, in the world basically, of especially the tech world, like. So yeah, I think everybody will be happy. I'll be happy for doing this big change for the world and for myself and for my family or for my country. So, and US. So why not? I mean, I think everybody should be happy from this story.
Now you mentioned that you're focusing on the US. Are there any other major countries that you're looking for investors in?
Not really. The reason why I'm looking for US, I mean, I have traveled a lot in Europe. I have been in South Korea, for example. I'm like in Monday, I'm flying to Australia. Yes, they were more of like a non-really business type of trip. So I might be biased a little, but I feel like all those countries are quite far away from creating that ecosystem that exists here. Especially for the foreigners. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not right there, and that might be very biased because I'm educated here. I feel very comfortable here. I understand everything about American culture. I laugh at your jokes, so that's one of them.
That's funny.
So if they say if you laugh at the jokes of the nation that you're living at, then you are one of them. So I laugh at your jokes, so I'm good at that.
I must share with you, Farid, that some jokes here I don't even get.
I know. So, yeah, I understand that. I'm trying to get that. But if you don't get it as well, I feel good. It's like, okay, if Cindy doesn't get it, I'm fine. I'm
telling you, some of them are pretty out there these days.
So, yeah. So basically, so I feel much more comfortable here. And also Ingrid is here. All the support ecosystem is here. I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking for any other country, unfortunately. Maybe it's a bad idea, but I mean, that's how it is at the moment. Maybe it might change in the future, but I very feel good in the US. So.
Well, and we're happy you're doing it because it's a win for everybody. I mean, it's pretty clear that everybody can make money. Everybody can take advantage of what's created. And we have a way to set the world on fire, right?
That's correct.
Fantastic. When we come back in a couple of minutes, we're going to hear more from Farid Ismayilzada from Azerbaijan. He is the co-founder and president of Technovate Investments. And please stay tuned with us on the Imagine More Success radio show. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by Elie Marzulli, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a 3-hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to lamarzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world, interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hides' life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
Thank you for joining us again on the Imagine More Success radio show. We're having a really fun time today. I'm actually learning quite a bit. This is a part of business territory that I'm not very familiar with. Today we're really talking about startups, international startups, and with global ideas. Very, very cool stuff. We've been talking with Farid Ismayilzada from Technovate Investments, which is a partnership between the United States and Azerbaijan. And he is actually co-founder and president of the company. His co-founder, Ingrid Rostam, was on one of our previous episodes, and you can find her interview at imaginemoresuccess.net. In our previous segments, we've been talking about moving ideas from their embryonic state through an incubation period into a financed and developed place with proof of concept. In the previous segment, you were mentioning that you hire Americans to do work for you as co-partners in these companies to find CEOs. Farid, do you usually pick people who are CEOs of other companies in order to partner with?
Not really. Like when we hire those people, first of all, I would like to say, like in CEO level, I wouldn't like to call it hire. I would like to call it more of like we find co-founders, because maybe they were not from the day one with the idea, but if they're interested, let's say when this toys idea that I described a little ago, like let's say by the end of this year, they will be ready to come to United States. And the guys are very technical. They won't be able to go in front of investors and so on. So we find those co-founders, and we'll give them equity and stuff. So they will be part of the company. They will be one of the founders. They will be, how to say, like, besides getting some salary and so on, but I want them to feel like they basically very important part of the company. So that's for them, like not for the other employees we'll hire in the future, but the first person will be having equity and stuff like that, which will make them very interested. And there, yes, I don't think we need a lot. I mean, we don't need them to be CEOs and previously or done this thing before. It's really down to the person who will be interested in this and us thinking that he's the right person to run this. I mean, like, when I launched all those things, do you think I had any previous? I mean, I was 23-year-old, just graduated from San Jose State. I mean, like, you never know. I mean, what happens with what person, you know? And these companies are not in the stage, like, they're not like multi-billion already dollars company that, I don't know, you're hiring, I don't know, for example, Uber hired ex-CEO of Expedia, right?
Expedia, right.
It's not that level. I mean, we're not talking that. We're talking about really a nice guy or girl who is really interested in, let's say, these toys and likes this idea and really good at fundraising and confident to talk, has brilliant ideas. You can feel all that stuff by talking or knowing the person, right? So yeah, we'll just hire or ask these people to be part of the company, and we'll give them some equity and get them interested in this. And it will be also vesting equity. I don't know how much familiar you are, but vesting is like you by the results, the person gets more and more equity in the company. You know, I mean, like, if we will find out in the first couple of months of the thing that she or he is not the right fit, whatever, I mean, we'll stop right there, you know. So that's how we will identify. So there's not really a really, how to say, such requirements that you have to be somebody already. I mean, you can be just recent graduate, MBA graduate, and be a rock star, you know. Somebody should trust you, you know, and we will trust you.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And that when it comes time for you to find angel investors or talk to investors, do you have a formula already in place, or is this something where that person that comes in then creates their own pathway to finding investment?
No, I mean, we don't have a, I mean, like, just, they have to find their own pathway in a way, like, but what we have is this, like, for example, let's just give you an example. Like, we have these two companies already, which we pretty much finishing the rounds for investments, right? And that gave a lot of warm contacts personal to me and to Ingrid and like and the people who are part of this Technovate adventure. So to come to them, I mean, to them now with a Toys Talk idea, like the toys idea that I told you about, like, it will be a bit easier because you already have those warm contacts, people already know you, and like it's a bit opens the door. Like we will not go through the same hardships that we went through when we just started this whole story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, we have a very special offer, I understand, for our listeners, a unique offer from Farid. Would you like to share what you are offering?
Sure. I mean, we might not have like, we're not like at the moment in such a consumer business that we would offer something like in consumer, maybe like future when we have startups already launching, we might offer, I don't know, free posture wearable or free, like this toys thing or energy device that we're building. All that kind of stuff can be done. But what we can offer now at this stage is, since we are about wrapping up the rounds of investments for 2 projects, if people will be contacting me hearing this and would love to be part of the angel investment, we can offer them a discount rate. Like, so they will come in with much less investment. They will get much more convertible notes or equity than the other investors, and they can be part of this story if they like it at this stage and with discounted price, and also they can be angels for Technovate. So that's what we offer. I don't know if angels are listening to us. I will be happy to get hold of them and discuss more.
Well, we're going to just know that there's someone out there that's interested in what you're doing, and would you be kind enough to share how they can reach you?
Sure. I mean, the best way actually to reach is LinkedIn, to be honest, or my email. So Since my name and last name, I don't know how difficult it will be for people to kind of. So it's Farid, Farid, and Ismayilzada. So Ismayilzada. That will be how you reach me on LinkedIn, and the email will be farid@technovateinvestments.com. So if they reach me over that and tell me about this show, that they heard about the show and they're interested, I'll take the conversation from there.
Well, here's an easier way. LinkedIn.com/in/, just like everybody else on LinkedIn. And it's FARIDAZ.
That's correct. I think the faridismailzada.com also is forwarded to that LinkedIn account. So that's also another way to find me.
Very exciting. So
Tell me
anybody looking for an opportunity, there is a good one that you can check it out.
Farid, tell me a little bit about what's possible for someone. Let's just take the idea of someone who is in your capital city of Azerbaijan. They have an idea. They bring it to you. They've gone through the incubation period. It's moved to the U.S. It has proof of concept. You find investors. What's possible for someone who does that afterwards?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think possible is a lot. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's like a sky is the limit. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know how much I believe in luck and so on, like to be in the right place in the right time. But yeah, it is possible that if they have really, really good idea and they go over all this process and, they do the right decision in the right time. I mean, yeah, it is possible to build. I mean, especially if it's a global thing. Unicorns, or unicorn means like companies that are over $1 billion valuation. So it's possible to build, really, really big businesses, like anything that starts valuation of $100 million and above, or unicorns, or even, I don't know, I don't want to sound too thing, but it can be also $1 trillion companies. So why not?
You know what else I think when I think of your business, that as we've talked about it, what I can see and what I can imagine is that someone who is from a small town, or from a town, a country that has around 10 million people, has an idea, and their idea literally touches every single person on the globe, and they have an opportunity to change the life experience of every single person that they connect with through their product and through their idea. And the idea of that just blows me away, because when I imagine that, say 150 years ago, that could only be a dream, and now it can be a reality. I mean, what you're doing is giving people such an amazing opportunity to spread their idea across the entire globe. I think it's really incredible.
That's correct. And if you look around, as I already mentioned, like a lot of ideas that we see now that made those changes, most of them came from that kind of places. You know what I mean? Like, let's not forget that Steve Jobs were a Syrian immigrant, right? Adopted by Americans and migrated to the United States, and now we have Apple. And I don't know how much you love, but this is what's going on, Or Elon Musk is from South Africa, right? And that's what's going on. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, and I agree. It's possible to change the lives of, and that's beauty of internet and this globalization that's going on. That's possible. That it doesn't already matters. Literally, like the more and more we move with this, it doesn't really matter where you're from, what language you speak, what religion are you, what color you are, all that kind of stuff. Like the less and less matters.
And that's really how the world should be.
I agree with you completely.
Well, Farid, we just want to thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure to have you on, and thank you for enlightening us on this entire process of starting of beginning a startup in another country, and how it can develop into literally an entire global brand and global idea. Very fascinating, something that's really interesting. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, really great to be here. It's my first this experience in the United States. I had something similar back at home, but this is really cool. It's a different league. I just wrote on Facebook that's a different league. So I really liked it, enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, hoping to stay in touch with you guys as well after this. And thank you very much.
And we will. Thanks so much, Farid.
Absolutely. If you want to reach out to Farid, you can go to technovateinvestments.com. You can send him an email at farid@technovateinvestments.com, or you can find him on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/FaridAZ. And if you want to hear some more of our past episodes with fascinating entrepreneurs and business professionals, go to the Imagine More Success radio show at imaginemoresuccess.net. We want to thank you again for joining us. We just want to remind you to always realize your dreams and to imagine more success.